will directly go to
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Good evening, Shivakumar sir. Good evening, Jain.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ravi Shankar sir.
Good evening.
Naurange sir, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. Uttari sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Uttare sir.
Good evening, Ashok. Good evening.
So we will directly go. So I welcome you all to the 13th ongoing medical legal webinar series on a very different and fantastic topic. I'll directly hand over to Dr. Pankaj Bhandarkar sir, who's the Honorary Secretary of IMA Maharashtra State.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ashok Shukla. Good evening, everybody. Respected President, Maharashtra Medical Council, Dr. Shivakumar Utture. Today's panelist, Dr. Ravi Shankar TN, Chairperson of IMA Headquarters Steering Committee of Medical Legal Services. Dr. Shailesh Mohite, Dean, RN Cooper Hospital, Mumbai. Our own Dr. Jayant Naurange, Medical Legal Expert and Chairperson of Social Security Scheme, IMA Maharashtra State. President Mira Bahinder, Dr. Rakhi Agarwal, Secretary, and Dr. Ashok Shukla, Chairperson of our Medical Legal Committee, Dr. Dinesh Thakre, moderator for today's webinar, and Dr. Abhay Shukla, with the co-chairperson of this committee. Friends, I welcome you all on behalf of IMA Maharashtra for this very popular series of medical legal knowledge which are imparting since last year. So today is a little different subject, expert committee and expert opinion. So many times we come across so many committees we hear about, and then we see in the newspapers and everywhere how they are formed, how much we have to rely on their decisions. And regarding expert opinion also, because of this, a lot of social medias, people are appearing, they are posing as they are experts, but how far it is correct and who are the real experts in this field. So all these things will be answered today by the real experts who are there for so many years and known to everybody, to us. So I welcome them again. And instead of wasting much time, I think I will request Dr. Ashok Shukla to go ahead with the further proceedings. Dr. Ashok Shukla.
Thank you, sir. So yeah. I welcome you all for this fantastic program. Thank you for those kind words. So first we will directly introduce our panelists. So today we have Dr. Shivakumar Utture sir, who's chairman of Maharashtra Medical Council. He is also the member of National Medical Council. He is a general surgeon and received a huge number of awards and always has stood with the members. Then we have Dr. T.N. Ravi Shankar sir. He is the chairperson of IMA HQ Medical Legal Services. Immense amount of experience, helped n number of doctors from different states. So today we have an excellent panelist who would be helping us from for this different topic. Then we have Dr. Shailesh Mohite sir, who is at present Dean of Cooper Hospital from 1st of June. Congratulations, sir. And he is the head of department. He was the head of department of forensic in that hospital. Immense amount of experience in medical legal issues, post-mortem, and have been in connection with a lot of high-profile cases. A lot of times, you know, this media and all those high-profile film stars conducted post-mortems, XYZ. There, so huge amount of experience, sir has. I was in Nair, so I know Dr. Shailesh Mohite, sir, from that time. Very hard-working person. Then we have Advocate Rohit Irande, sir, who is an advocate from Pune. Take a lot of medical legal cases. He had given a fantastic talk in our medical legal session around 3 sessions back. So we have him from seeing the legal views and other issues where he can give inputs from the court view, because a lot of time doctors feel that they always speak from doctors. So we have a lawyer advocate also in our panel. Then we have our own Dr. Jayant Naurange, sir, who is the pediatrician, medical legal expert. He's legally qualified doctor. He is again the chairman of IMA Pune cell, and one of my mentors, you can say, because of which the whole webinar series, when I started around 2 years back, has got executed so well, because they have always stood with us and guided me. In today's also, he has given a lot of inputs so that we can get good take-home messages and members know why this topic is very important about the expert witness. So here we are not going to have any directions to a particular panelist. Whichever panelist is comfortable, they can start with. And other panelists, whoever wants to give inputs, they can definitely give inputs. I have also added Sugandhi Iyer madam because she is a legally qualified doctor as well as deputy director of PD Hinduja. If she has something specific, she can also unmute herself and she can give her inputs so that our members get the maximum benefit. I welcome you all, and I welcome all IMA state and national leaders who have joined and all our delegates who are still joining the program. So the first thing is कि people feel कि who is an expert? मतलब who can become an expert? Anybody can become an expert. Who exactly is an expert? So anybody, Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, we can start from you. Sir, unmute yourself. So the panelists can unmute themselves because they have been made co-hosts, so they can unmute themselves.
Thank you and good evening to all, and thanks to Dr. Ashok for his wonderful innovative thinking on getting the topics. Thank you, sir. I think expert opinion, everybody will know. Common, what the Chambers Dictionary, an Oxford Dictionary says on English language. Someone who has got a knowledge of that subject, he's called an expert. Somebody who can talk on the law must be a graduate in law from a recognized, then he becomes an expert. The same way in the medical specialty, medical field, I think you have a lot of specialty, and if you are qualified in that specialty and recognized as far as this country by the Medical Council of India, the degree what you have obtained, and you become an expert opinion. You are an expert and you can give an opinion on that. The legal framework, I think the Indian Evidence Act gives section 45. But and experts in the legal way is two things. One which the court asks for, and another one is what the complainant or the defendant puts forward. This is an expert opinion. The person has to be qualified and have the knowledge, expertise, qualification before he gives on a topic. What topic it is? It's medical, non-medical, whatever it is. In fact, the Evidence Act says foreign language, science, whatever it is. If he is qualified from a recognized university, he is an expert, and they form a panel of experts who have common qualification and idea on the whole issue. This is what I think is an expert.
Yeah. So, Advocate Rohit sir, whether it is mandatory for an expert opinion, whenever the case logins, whether it's mandatory for having an expert opinion?
I must thank you all for inviting me again and giving me a chance to be a part of this expert committee. First of all, as we are talking about medico-legal cases, so I will restrict myself to that particular angle only because Section 45 of Indian Evidence Act talks about an expert evidence which the court can take assistance of. So that the medico-legal expert would definitely fall under Section 45. Now, the law regarding taking an expert opinion was firstly settled by Honorable Apex Court in landmark judgment of Martin D'Souza versus Mohammad Ishfaq, wherein it was made mandatory for having an expert opinion before filing a case in consumer court. And in case of criminal cases, before arresting a doctor, also the Jacob Matthew case made mandatory for expert opinion, and then only police can take action. Now, after the judgment of Martin D'Souza, I'm talking about civil cases, compensation cases in consumer courts. Then the judgment came of V. Krishna Rao Hospital was V. Krishna Rao versus Nikhil Super Speciality Hospital. It is another three judges bench judgment, which per se changed the earlier law of Martin D'Souza in respect of the expert opinion is concerned, wherein now their lordship have made it discretionary and the power has been given to the concerned district forum, concerned consumer forum, who have to decide, who have to weigh whether the particular case in hand requires expert opinion and it is a complicated one. Only if they find that such case is a complicated one, then they can definitely ask for an expert opinion. So now, but I have seen that in many medical legal cases, as the judges are not from a medical background, so judges do insist for having an expert medical opinion, and it is good for the complainant as well as the respondents also.
Okay, so if there is, if the judge feels there is a straightforward negligence case, res ipsa loquitur, they might not insist for the expert's opinion. Otherwise, preferably they will always ask for expert's opinion if it's a complex issue to help the judiciary to understand the issue, right?
Yeah, but definitely if the doctors feel that their case would be represented properly by giving some expert opinion, then you may call it as a separate expert opinion, or doctor may have as their own witness, because you can have number of witnesses to represent your case. So as your defense witness, you can have an expert opinion also. That is also permitted.
Okay. Dr. Shailesh Moite sir, who appoints or who gives the appointment of the expert opinion? That this person will become the expert opinion.
Okay, now the police will send this case to the dean of the government medical college, or in places where there is no government medical college, it will go to the civil surgeon, who will appoint a board. The board will comprise of the medical superintendent, chief of forensic medicine, and depending upon whatever specialty is involved, accordingly the panel would be formed.
Okay. So, but if there is, for example, in an area there is one government college and one private medical college,
Yes.
is it mandatory that it will go to government medical college only, or it can be referred to a private medical college?
No, it will go to the government medical college.
Okay. Now, sir, always there is a feeling in the doctor that functioning in the government hospital and private hospital is extremely different, a lot different. And a lot of time private doctors feel when the people sitting in the panel or the expert committee, they might not be in that situation to exactly understand what the doctor would have undergone while giving the treatment. So your comments.
Yes, there is a common misconception that the party against whom there is a complaint cannot be called, but it is not so. We as doctors need to not only go through the case papers provided by the investigating officer, but we can also call the doctor and find out the exact circumstances. Many a times the exact circumstances might not be written on papers. So not only of the perusal of the case papers, but also you can call and record statements of all those concerned which are required to come to be a just reason.
Sir, is there any provision, or do the expert committee, before giving their, you can say, the statement or the report, call the doctor who is one of the accused in this issue to listen or hear him before they come out with the committee report?
There is nothing which bars from the expert panel from doing so. It would be ideal if the expert panel feels appropriate and calls the doctor. Many a times the handwriting might not be legible, and instead of just drawing a conclusion, it is always better to call, because he is a fellow colleague and you can definitely understand what he meant at that moment, what were the circumstances, because if it is an emergency, everything might not have been documented that time.
So that's the main thing why I asked, sir, because a lot of time doctors feel it was an emergency situation. We were working in a place which has restricted facilities. The closest lab available to our hospital is so many kilometers away, and these things should have been kept in mind before giving the outcome. So that's the reason at present it is not mandatory. But maybe in future, I feel if the expert committee, maybe the others panelists also can find, if calls the doctor and speaks once and asks them to understand the case better before giving the report, would be slightly beneficial, I personally feel.
Yes, even I am of the same opinion that there is nothing which bars the panel from calling the doctor and taking his opinion as well, or his side of the story.
Okay. So can I say something on this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. We want a good discussion.
First and foremost, thank you. Thank you very much for including me in this panel. I have high respect for Dr. Moite's opinion. And previously also I have learned from him that this is the way he would like to function, that whenever required, he will be calling the concerned doctor. However, after seeing at least several dozens of cases, in Pune, they have of the view, all expert committees for last, since that Jacob Matthew's judgment, that what they are saying in Sassoon Hospital, I'm taking the names, also in civil hospital, that we will not be calling the doctor concerned. The reason being, they say we are not courts to hear the both sides. We are not there to follow the principles of natural justice. I mean, they're not saying in those many words, but they're saying we have been asked to form an opinion on the paper submitted to us. And in case required, they may say one or two extra questions. This has happened today evening. I'm telling you, even today evening, when a case from Jahangir Hospital was sent for an MRI, and one of the diagnostic centers, the patient died over there. And what has happened in that PH medical, I mean, this particular medical center, I'm so sorry to take the name. So this type of no questions are asked at all. They say that whenever required, we'll call for a written explanation. If at all they ask, they are clearly saying, and this is time and again the repeated successive expert committees from 2005 onwards, that we are not courts and we will be taking consideration into only about the documents sent to us by the police. So they are not calling the other party or the papers sent by the Consumer Commission. So they are not taking the other party's opinion at all. I'm very happy that Dr. Mohite is doing that. And luckily, I will take up this matter once again, that there is a good judgment in 2017 from Madhya Pradesh High Court, which has given a clear directive that you have to take into consideration the side of the doctor also by calling him for personal hearing. So these things have changed now in Madhya Pradesh. We have asked, submitted the same on an affidavit to Bombay High Court today morning, and they are also very positive about it. So let's see what the directives come. But as of today, in all other places except probably Mumbai, I think Mr. Erenda will highlight upon this. What is his experience? They are categorically denying to call the doctor.
Dr. Mohite sir.
Naurangi sir, one thing is there, while drawing an opinion, one needs to state that I am drawing my opinion based on 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm just placing it on a basis of case papers, okay, then I need to say I have placed only on case paper. Secondly, it is the duty of the panel to see that justice or truth comes out. So therefore, they need to write to the investigating officer, we would like to record the statement of or hear so and so persons of both the sides. If any of the party doesn't wish to come, then I too need to mention it on record that I had given this letter, page number so and so to this party. The party has declined to come or has declined to give any supporting evidence. Hence, my conclusion is based on statements of this or on perusal of papers from this number to this number. Then it would be a complete and a very scientific opinion. That is my opinion.
Yeah, Advocate Rohit sir, you want to...
Yes, I would add a few things to what Naurangi sir has just stated. In court, what happens is court on its own motion calls for an expert opinion. So it would amount to delegating the powers of recording the evidence at the hands of expert committees. So the court only asks, we have given you the papers, you give your opinion based on the particular papers. This happens with police also. Police submit to the expert committee the papers or the record, whatever available with them. And on the basis of those record, the committee has to form its opinion. Now, what Mohite sir is saying is absolutely correct. It should happen that rather there is no technically an embargo put upon committee to call for both the parties. It would be improper if the committee calls only one party. So committee may call for all the parties. However, practically it never happens because both the parties get an opportunity to assail that particular expert opinion. If it is against the party whose the expert opinion against, the parties definitely assails that. And the law of expert opinion is that it is an opinion. It is never binding upon the court. So there are a number of judgments wherein courts have taken contrary view to the expert opinion placed on the record.
Sir, can I add a sentence?
Yes, sir. Sure.
That when the question of consumer forum referring to expert committee, no problem. The point comes because these are civil matters. What happens in the IPC 304A, what happens is the movement the committee feels that they clearly mention, depending on the paper submitted to us, we are of the opinion that there is prima facie negligence. They don't commit that way also. They say some mistake here and there. Immediately the arrest occurs. Though it is 304A, it is a technical arrest followed by release on bail. So their implications are tremendous. So what we feel is what Dr. Mohite is following should be followed all across the state, that there should be an opportunity given to the party who is the arrest party.
I would like to add one thing, is the panel while giving an opinion should keep in mind that whatever opinion they are giving, they can be called to court and cross-examined.
Yes.
So one has to be very careful and scientific while giving such an opinion is another thing one needs to. And secondly, no one says that even if police or any agency asks, is it negligence? We do not say that it is negligence. We write, was there any deficiency of surveys, or was there any damage caused? Is it as a result of direct causations? We mention that. We are not judges to say what is the negligence. So we just say as per consumer law what it is happening. And now, since we are only pertaining to cases of negligence over here, but there could be other cases where the manner of giving opinion would vary. So one needs to find where this case would go, in which case, civil side, criminal side. So that one has to keep in mind, and that the opinion, if there is a need that arises, at times we need to pull out literature and attach to our opinion also, that we have seen these cases, these are the previous judgments, etc. Thank you.
Dr. Shivkumar Utture, sir, you would be also getting a lot of complaints in Maharashtra Medical Council, and sometimes the cases might be connected to super specialist or different specialist branch. So how you all take the help of the expert opinion, and who is the expert opinion according to you for MMC, where on that basis you try to take the case ahead?
Yeah, thank you, Ashok. And I think before I start, let me on behalf of all of us congratulate my very, very dear friend, Dr. Shailesh Mohite, for being appointed as the Dean of one of the prestigious colleges in Mumbai. Sir, I could not meet you personally, but I take this opportunity to congratulate you.
Thank you so much, sir.
And before going to the MMC, I would just like to add to what has already been said as far as the opinions taken, especially in the criminal cases, as Dr. Naurangi has said. See, what we forget over here is that what does the criminal law say? Basically, the criminal law says that there has to be, the word is used, gross negligence for the doctor to be, arrested. Unfortunately, gross negligence word is never ever used in all up till now, whatever I have seen opinions, because these opinions even come to the council. We get a copy of these opinions also. Invariably, it is written that negligence cannot be ruled out. That is how it is written. I think there is what we as an association, as IMA, should fight and bring it to the notice of the police, that unless the word gross negligence is used, that there should not be any arrest of the doctor immediately under section 304A. Another thing that I would like to put over here, I think majority of you all do not know, is that we have been from the council, we have been fighting with the government authorities. And what you have to understand in Maharashtra is there are two types of, experts whenever it is referred to the government entities. One is the medical colleges, if it is there in, where the medical college is situated. And the other, of course, is the civil surgeon, where there is no medical college. Now, both these departments come under two different heads. One is under the Medical Education Ministry and the other comes under the Health Ministry. Now, with both the ministries, we have been continuously having a dialogue, and Health Ministry has already accepted what our say is. And today, whenever there is any hearing that is taken, or they go through the papers by the civil surgeons, there is always one person who is appointed by the Maharashtra Medical Council on that committee. That is a compulsion which is there, and we have written a letters, n number of letters, and now we are regularly being asked to send one of our representatives to become a part of that committee. Unfortunately, in the medical colleges, there is some resistance and by the deans, and I hope Dr. Moite, once he sits over there, since he's given his opinion also, he may try to push it, but they are somehow a little reluctant to, include one of the Maharashtra Medical Council representative whenever the hearing takes place. And this is where the importance of Maharashtra Medical Council is, just like how you said, that this, the circumstances and the situations may be different in a medical college and a big institutions and a small nursing home. And when we see, obviously I have been both in the teaching line for 35 years and in private practice with my own hospital also. I know how different the situation is and how peace of mind I can operate in a medical college as compared to when I operate in my own nursing home, because the circumstances are completely different. Unfortunately, invariably the head of departments are working continuously and their experience is only in a medical college. So somehow they are not tuned to what exactly happens in a private setup or a small setup. To just give you an example, one of the reports which came to us mentioned that the negligence was there because there was no recovery room to look after the patient after the surgery. Now in a small nursing home, you and I know that you cannot afford to have a recovery room, nor is it in the Bombay Nursing Home Act which is written over there that a recovery room is necessary. So that cannot be a cause of negligence. And this is where, if we have one of our representatives over there, definitely they can bring it to their notice that in a private setup this does not happen. So this is as far as whatever I have told you as far as what has been discussed up till now. Now, as far as Maharashtra Medical Council is concerned, yes, luckily the council which I am heading now, we have got a lot of experts of different groups. We have ophthalmologists, ENT, pediatrics, ICU specialists, surgeons, ophthalmologists, everybody we have over there. But if there is a case, suppose a neurosurgery case or a cardiac surgery case or a cardiac case where we do not have an expertise who is a member of the council, yes, we do refer it to the medical colleges. And here also, being a government entity, we are supposed to refer it to a medical college, but we refer it directly to the department in which it is concerned, to one person, and take his opinion as far as the paperwork is concerned. So, and that is the importance of having, I've been in all my talks, I've been saying what you should do. There are three things that you should do when you're in private practice, and that is documentation, documentation, and documentation, because everything will depend on that when it goes. Of course, in the council, when we as doctors are also sitting, we take care of the other part where the practical aspect also we look into it. But definitely the technical aspect of any treatment is concerned, we refer it to the head of department of that particular faculty of a medical college. And we are lucky in Mumbai that we have got n number of medical colleges where we can refer it, JJ, Sai and Nair, because all these are government and semi-government colleges, and we can get their opinion. That is what we normally do. But as Dr. Mohite said, that it is not absolutely necessary that we go as per that opinion again. We use our own judgment as far as if that opinion should be taken or not taken or partly taken. It depends on the circumstances, and then of course what questions we ask during the cross examination of that particular doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, sir, a question to, you can say any of the panelists can answer. In fact, I want two or three of the panelists to answer that. Who decides who will be the expert? Means the head of department decides that this person should be the expert, or the dean decides this person should be the expert of the department, or any particular qualification like lecturer, associate professor, 5-year working, 10 years working, because whatever is going to write is going to be of immense importance for the doctor.
I think Dr. Mohite will be able to answer that since he deals with it every day.
Ideally, as I said, the dean will appoint the committee depending upon what case it is. So if it is a case where an operation has taken place, then that respective faculty, suppose it is an OBGY case, then the
professor and head of gynecology, professor of anesthesia. These are the people that would be included in the committee or should ideally be. But many a times we see that the professor and head might not attend and he might send the assistant professor. So such things are later on challenged. Okay, so it is ideal to have a very senior person in the field or in the institute who would be. I would go one step ahead and say, see those government colleges who do not have super specialty. And if a case of super specialty comes, how can a person of specialty comment about a surgery or a treatment of a super specialty? So I would go beyond and say that the committee should on their own write to the dean stating that we would require a super specialist. Since there is no super specialist, we may be given permission to appoint one from the city or from any other private college if it exists, or any other college if it exists, which is a government or municipal college, because super specialties are very few in our state. It is not there in all the hospitals, government hospitals. Therefore, this is one more thing which can be done.
That's a very good suggestion, sir, because that was the thing I was worried if that specialist department is not available or a super specialist issue comes and there is nobody capable or level enough to understand, then giving things would be not good in yeah, Advocate Rohit, sir.
Yeah, I remember two interesting cases of National Commission wherein it was held that in a first case, the gynecologist was appointed by the complainant himself as an expert to give opinion on chest medicine and neurology. So the National Commission straightway dismissed that particular expert opinion on this ground alone, that gynecologist cannot be on expert opinion. And a very recent judgment, I would say, of this year, wherein it has been held that ex-professor of forensic medicine cannot be called as an expert on oncology and urology, because on that particular in that particular case, the ex-professor of forensic medicine held that the doctors are guilty and they are negligent. So this particular aspect was argued before the National Commission, and National Commission held that forensic medicine, ex-professor of forensic medicine cannot be called as an expert on oncology and urology. And you may observe that in many of the cases, forensic experts are appointed as an expert by the party on their own, because parties are not aware what are expert and who is not an expert. They want some piece of paper to be placed in the court of on the record of the court, and they get this particular opinion. And I would say it is good for doctor if such kind of reports are produced on record. It can be very easily assessed, and because if that particular expert report goes, most of the time the court would not give the judgment in favor of the complainant.
Yeah, Dr. Mohitin.
Yeah, I perfectly understand, and it is perfectly fair enough. So for these cases, even in maternal mortality deaths or any other operative deaths, what we at Nair were practicing was, we used to appoint one doctor from the opposite unit for conducting autopsy. So he used to be there in the panel of autopsy surgeons. So that used to take care about opinion, a specialized opinion related to that particular field. That was the practice we had adopted, and it still continues at Nair. That is what just I wanted to tell.
Yes, sir, I remember, because I was in Nair for 6 years, and a lot of time in gynec, even if referral patients used to come and patient used to die, I used to request her that I want to attend the postmortem to see how things inside and why that patient died, to understand. That was just out of the way. Sir, can an executive member of the organizations like Foxy, IMA, or maybe Anesthesia Association head, I am saying about the association head, presidents, can they be also like one person on the panel? Just
no, the law doesn't permit. So therefore, to protect our colleagues and to have a fair opinion, see, a forensic expert cannot have knowledge or idea about all the surgeries happening in different fields. Okay, we would write, we would photograph, we would videograph what are the actual facts. Was there any hemoperitoneum, whether the sutures had given away? These can be videographed, photographed, but an expert person from that particular field will be able to certainly boost the quality of evidence in such cases.
Yeah, Dr. Ravi Shankar sir. Yeah, Dr. Utturi sir.
Yeah, that is why I am again requesting Dr. Mohite. You ask the Maharashtra Medical Council in the medical colleges to give an expert. We will give you an expert from that field who is there from the private, so that you are also protected and our people also protected.
Sir, we take all precautions to photograph, videograph, etc. In fact, it is from our side we tell the police, you please ask the party whether they want it to be videographed, photographed. So when the letter goes from our side, they know that our intentions are very clear and we want to keep all possible evidences.
Yes, sir.
I
So
pray
Dr.
that
Ravi Shankar
same practice should be followed by all. This is very open mind of yours, sir, and
Yes,
we
sir.
pray that we take active steps to being followed this all across the country.
Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, expert opinion now. The doctor also wants an expert opinion from his side. A lot of time, doctors are not ready to become expert opinion. So, what is your experience? What do you advise? Because a lot of time, doctors call us here. I want an expert opinion. I am asking my friends, colleagues who are working nearby, but nobody is ready to become an expert opinion. So, Ravi Shankar sir, your inputs, and then Utture sir's input from MMC and how we can help such doctors.
I think this statement is a very old one. Way back in 97, 98, I was an assistant secretary to Dr. Bala sir in Tamil Nadu, stated the first time from a court, they requested the Indian Medical Association to send an expert on a gastroenterology case. Very clear, the court did not know what is medical council, what is IMA. That is how the request would have come down to the IMA. We were fortunate, we sent a very prominent surgical gastroenterologist. Uttray sir should remember Dr. Surendran, one of the leading gastroenterologists, a professor from Stanley, was asked to deposit in that court. I think association has got the right also, because it is another body which has got a station in the society. We also have the credibility. So those days association was called, but today I think it's a duty of the medical council to see justice prevails everywhere, and they should form a panel of experts. The courts are dependent on anything that is government. When it goes to in the private medical college and government medical college, they choose the government medical college. If it's not there, like in your place, it is civil surgeon. In my place, it is the district health authorities. Deputy Director of Health of the district is being requested to give the expert opinion. I think people are today now willing to give an expert opinion. The only issue is the courts should approach the medical councils. The medical council should have a panel of experts, not less than at least 5-10 people, in the order of preference, in the seniority, experience, everything. There should be a panel in every specialty in the medical councils, and their name should be given to the courts to go in to produce an expert. That is from that side. But when you want to do an expert from your own side, I think you always depend upon your seniors, you have to depend upon your professors, somebody who had taught you the subject, somebody who's still teaching the subject. They are the right people who have the knowledge and who have the credibility in the court when they give an expert opinion. I think today people are not willing to go to the courts, answer it. Only thing they are worried about the time being wasted there, things standing there, and also one more thing is that the cross-examination. Today, expert witness can be cross-examined by the opposite advocate. So they should stand the testimony of all the difficulty, and if they are quite authority on the subject and quite clear that the person who has called you has done a job which is worth it, there is no negligence, or it is an accidental, that whatever it is, he should be able to withstand the cross-examination and provide a good expert opinion. Today, people should be made willing. I think Shivakumar sir should take it to the National Medical Commission. I had envisaged a medical tribunal in which I have given lots of power to the medical council to give the expert opinion or whatever it is. Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. Yeah. Can a second expert opinion be asked by the doctor? So, for example, a doctor takes an expert opinion and then now he wants a second opinion. So, whether he can say that I want a second opinion, or maybe a second committee to be formed. Dr. Mohite sir, can the doctor say, and has a right, or it may be rejected, or it might be accepted depending.
Before I answer, I would like to ask you one question. Opinion has been given. Unless and until that opinion comes to the doctor, how would he come to know what is the opinion given and whether it is in his favor or otherwise? So I think it is the police or the agency who is investigating first needs to inform the doctor that what opinion is given and that the opinion is against him. So as we discussed earlier, if that doctor could go through a list of panels, and as Advocate Erende told us, in one case where a gynecologist gave opinion on a chest medicine case, similarly, if the doctor gets to see who the panelist would, then he would be probably in a position to raise a doubt regarding the panel and ask for a second opinion. Is the beginning. I would take opportunity at this stage to request Utture sir is, one thing is to tell the court, to the government, to send cases not only to government medical colleges but to municipal medical colleges also. We have 4, but these cases never land up with us. Many a times they might come a few cases for second opinion. Now even if you see in Mumbai MTP cases where opinion has to be formed, whether MTP has to be done or otherwise, barring a very few cases, almost all go to government medical colleges, but they do not come to our institutes where we conduct postgraduate courses also. So second opinion can certainly be taken. There is no issue. Just as second postmortems are done in the city where the party is not satisfied. So there is no harm in having a second opinion.
Sir, how the doctor will get? Yeah, Advocate Rohit sir, you want to?
I will just add one thing here. See, in expert opinion generally comes at the time of filing of the case. But when the evidence starts, both the parties have right to have another expert opinion or n number of expert opinions, because there cannot be any restrictions on how many witnesses one party wants to examine. So a party may have, it depends upon how the expert opinion is. If it is against, then certainly a doctor would have would try to have an expert opinion which would suit him, and therefore there is no embargo upon a doctor as a respondent to produce another set of expert opinions during the course of his evidence.
Sir, the expert opinion committee. Yeah, Naurangi sir.
I had an interesting point that what Jacob Matthew's judgment says, and they have clarified that as far as possible, government doctors. So there is no bar on forming an expert committee by private associations either. I mean, they can quickly give an opinion, provided they have that expertise, they have that credibility, accountability, and the expert committee is ready to face the cross-examination. Of course, routine as a part of wherever there is a medical college, they will be taking opinion of the dean of the medical college and through their expert committee. But what is the bar in giving an expert opinion from your own side? And we have been doing it, and it's extremely useful. So this is for multiple reasons. I would not explain everything over here, but then this is a small deterrent also in giving erratic opinions. So because ultimately it is a question of jail, at least temporarily, arrest. I'm talking about criminal negligence. So these cases, when an expert committee given an opinion, because there is no bar as per the Jacob Matthews judgment, even the expert committee from the government college will have to think what they're writing. So that is a good thing, that there is no bar in forming a private committee. Only thing, they will have to stand the test of credibility and test of cross-examination. Of course, that is required for a government committee also.
So the accused doctor, if he wants the copy of the expert committee report, then he has to approach the court and police station and ask, or he can directly ask from the expert committee if he knows that which hospital expert committee is formed, or it's whether it is easy for him to get the expert committee report or it's difficult indirectly.
It has to come from court only. Because it is the expert committee opinion is asked generally by the police or by the court. So the opinion is sent to them. Unofficially, I know people give this opinion, they can have the WhatsApp copy also. but it has no evidentiary value. So it has to be asked through court, and then only they can get the copy. But we personally feel that just even in this today's case of Anil Deshmukh, ED has not given any charge sheet or anything of that sort. So it is not the system to give the expert opinion or whatever charges are framed against them. But I feel that for such cases, when the doctor is an accused party, they should be given a report of postmortem. They should be given a report of the expert committee. Why there is such a hesitancy in this? We don't understand this.
You may,
I
the
think
doctor
all
may
this opinion.
take resort
I'm
to
sorry, I'm
RTI
sorry.
also. I have seen, I have rather advised few of doctors, and the police were denying them for giving the expert evidence copy, because doctors are under very tremendous pressure what the opinion has been given, whether it is in their favor or whether it is against them.
The
And
last,
I
yeah,
need not say how this particular suspense is used against doctors by the concerned
exactly.
police
I was
authorities.
coming to that because last
So
week, sir, Uttari sir, we had 2 cases in Pune where the police went on in calling the concerned doctor and hospitals that the opinion is against you. We're coming there to arrest. You will have to come to Chowki, this and that. And they tried to extort and extract. And actually, the opinion, when it was disclosed, was absolutely in favor of the doctors. So actually, it is defamation of the expert committee also, because they are saying that this case has gone against the doctor, and the doctor is made to be undergoes tremendous pressure. And this is one of the, I would say, bad things which are occurring out of the secrecy of that expert committee opinion.
So you have to approach to the court, and till the time the dilemma remains, and the doctor is also worried that what outcome is, there is no out. You can't do anything because that's the system. Because a lot of time, even the copy of the postmortem report, Dr. Moite sir, or chemical analysis report, the doctor wants, but it's very difficult for him to get the, as already Advocate Rohit sir said, the police also refuses, says that तुम्हाला आम्ही कोर्टात देऊ, इथे आम्ही नाही देणार. So, and then till the time the only reason, see, doctor doesn't want to change. Doctor wants to prepare his defense. See, he has the full right to challenge that report. But if he gets the report in time, then he gets some time to think and challenge. So that is the reason he's asking. He is worried that he should not get arrested. He is worried about that. He is worried about that. But then that's the thing. Getting the report becomes very difficult. That I accept. Now there is one more question which was sent to me by a very senior medical legal expert. So the question was that, is expert's opinion authentic? That was the first line. And if we feel it is authentic, then why courts keep them aside? Because a lot of time it's not necessarily or binding that the court will accept your expert opinion. The court has full option of setting aside the expert opinion and going ahead with the facts of the case and giving the judgment. So the panelists comments on this, because a lot of time, yeah,
the expert opinion, rather I would say, for that matter, any opinion is never binding upon the court. So because the law of evidence is so clear that they see any expert is not directly related to the case. He never has any personal knowledge, as any plaintiff or defendant would have personal knowledge of the court. So the expert is appointed to help the court and to the parties by the virtue of his expert knowledge, and therefore expert opinion, the court only on particular facts of the case and the documents, and the court asks what is your opinion by your expertise, your skill in that particular field. However, there are judgments, as I already told, that the courts have taken contrary view to the expert opinion placed on record. So again, I'm saying that expert opinion is never binding upon the court. But generally, in medical legal cases, if the experts give their opinion, whatever it may be in favor or against the doctors, the court would generally follow that particular opinion. However, again, I'm saying that if the facts have been pleaded properly and the expert opinion is assailed properly before the court, then the court might take the contrary view.
Because in the Jacob Matthews case, sir, it was said that complaint shall be admitted only if there is an expert opinion which goes against the doctor. And but then later the court also has that option of, just keeping the expert opinion aside and going ahead with the case scenarios.
Yeah. That is
What-
prima facie for that
Prima-
opinion is used for prima facie whether to make arrest of doctor or not. But if
Sir,
after trial if it comes to the conclusion that yes the doctor was negligent, then the doctor may suffer as per the law.
sir, accountability and immunity to the expert person or expert evidence or expert opinion person. Accountability and immunity from court. See, accountability means whatever he's saying, whether he can be challenged and he has to justify by cross examination, and if it is found that he was not able to justify and the whatever opinion he gave was not in the right way, and whether he can be punished or he has an immunity.
No, he cannot be punished. See, he has
Yes,
right
sure.
to give. He said that this is my opinion. Again, I'm saying the word opinion. So, as all the doctors are over here, so if a particular case is given to a doctor, the doctor might have different opinions whether what kind of treatment is to be given or not, and every doctor might be correct in his own position. Likewise, the opinion, if in cross examination comes to the conclusion that whatever he has stated in the expert opinion and whatever testimony he is giving are contrary, then it will have its own effect. However, that particular witness won't be punished.
Yes, sir. My other question was whether the expert opinion person or the expert witness, whatever word we use, do they go on proper upgradation of knowledge or studying of the recent advances? Why I'm saying is a lot of time what happens ki, for example, I am studying in a particular unit and that unit boss is following a particular procedure. For example, removing all the stitches on the 10th day. Some people remove on 8th and 10th day. Some people do a check dressing on 4th day. So if I am doing something and I feel that is the only right thing, and when in my expert opinion, I say the other person did a wrong thing, and that can create a problem. For example, I'll just give without taking any names. You know, a recent case where a doctor commented that meconium stained liquor was there and amnio infusion should have been done. And because of which the judge gave a state, the expert doctor says amnio infusion should have done. There is a death which has occurred. So this doctor should be punished, should be sent behind bar. The doctor did something intentionally because of which the child died. So why you understood why that question was about the accountability and the immunity, because the person who is the expert person, he should also feel that whatever he is going to write is going to decide a fate of a doctor. So he has to double cross check or triple cross check about the words what is writing with the evidence what is have. That was my intention of asking that question. Let the panelists.
Sir, accountability is 100% there. That is why he is subjected to cross-examination. As far as the punitive action against such a opinion, that won't be there because it will be always interpreted that this opinion was sought by authorities and the opinion has been given in good faith. Unless intentionally something wrong has been done, then that can be proved.
If the person gives the opinion and the recent literature doesn't say anything about it.
No, I got your point. But the accountability is there, but the punitive action won't be there.
Yeah, Dr. Mohite sir, government and Dr. Uttare sir.
See, what you have to understand, Ashok, is medicine is not an exact science. As you said, that opinions could differ from even two people who have studied in the same institutions also. And that is why it is called not as expert evidence, but it is called as expert opinion. Means that person feels, that is what. And what you have to understand is that this opinion is not given by one person. This opinion is given by a panel of doctors which have, that's why it is never referred to one person. It is the dean, has a panel of almost 4 to 5 people in that to understand, to give the opinion. Another thing you have to understand is that, everybody asks why sometimes the opinion of the panel is rejected by the judges. See, it can be, there are multiple facets to any medico legal case. And what opinion is given by these experts is regarding the treatment point of view. But there are other facets also in a medico legal case, which the judge takes into consideration, the legality and all that, which is not, and that is why they give the opinion only on the papers that are submitted to them. So they give their opinion, they don't give their judgment. When a judge gives, it is not an opinion, it is his judgment, because he looks at it's sort of an holistic view of the whole case, and that is the difference between the judgment and an opinion. uh, as far as culpability is concerned, if a wrong opinion is concerned, there is no, definitely there is no punishment, but you can always challenge this opinion by, and that is why the courts always, or even the council allows you to get your own experts to counter whatever this expert opinion is. And maybe you may get the expert who is much more senior, much more learned, much more knowledgeable than what the members are on that committee, and you may be able to convince the judge that what opinion has been given by that committee is not proper. It could be something different also as given by your own expert whom you bring to that court. So again, you have to understand that a judge, I'm not talking about the council, but in the court of law, is not a medical person. He is dependent on what is presented to him. So importance comes in how good your lawyer is who's defending you, how good his knowledge is about both medicine and legal aspect. You know, a medico legal case is something completely different from any other case, because there they look at only the legality of that problem. But here, when he defends you, he has to know the medical aspect also, and that is the importance of having a good medico legal expert who, or a lawyer who defends you in the court of law, who can take both the legality point of view also and the medical point of view also. Thank you.
Okay. Dr.
About,
Mohite sir, any SOP or any guidelines are being given or told to the members on the expert committee? Means these things you should take care, or this thing should has been seen, or any proper any some SOPs there, or just papers are sent and they use their clinical acumen, they go through their papers and they give their opinion.
So the committee ideally should first sit, see what is the requisition letter that is sent, what are the documents sent to you, is it only the case papers or anything else, do you require any other opinions, any other certificates, any other papers. They should first make a list. One should not be in a hurry to give an opinion. One should first ask for other things which would be required to come to an opinion. If those things are not available, and if the committee cannot come to an opinion on the given material, then the committee should also not hesitate to say that based on the produced documents or the opinion or the statements recorded, we are not able to come to a perfect conclusion as to what it is, and they can leave the case open.
Interesting. Sir, any time limit is given to this committee to give their opinion? Approximately.
Ideally, there is. It should be done as quickly as possible. But depend if I am going to require more time, that could be because I write a letter to the investigating officer. He needs to come. He needs to collect the papers. Then see, this is something additional work which all the faculty. So the committee's timings, everyone should be available at that time. You can at the very beginning fix up, okay, we will meet for 1 hour, 2 hours on that day, depending upon the timings of the witnesses whom you want, or people whose statements or you want to hear. It might be the staff nurse also, it might be the ward boy also, anyone. Whether oxygen cylinder भरलेला होता की रिकामा होता, केव्हा भरला, तुमच्याकडे काय पद्धत आहे. For these things, even you can call a ward boy. So depending upon everyone's availability and time, this thing can increase. If you are going to require unduly more time, because say it is vacation time and the people are not there, it is always better to tell well beforehand that this committee will require so much time.
Okay. Sir, normally these committees have odd number of people, or there are chances that the committee gives a unanimous outcome, or there are times also where out of 5 people, 3 people have different opinion, 2 people have different opinion, and it is minuted? No.
There is no question of odd or even. There is no tiebreaker. There is no tied match. It is nothing of that sort. It is the scientific opinion which the committee comes to. And wherever, as I have been part of the committee, we have tried to enlist things based on which at times, as we said now, you might call a very senior person as in your defense, but even that senior person would go through the document which we have, and if we have perused all possible things, we have taken into consideration what are the best practices the doctor could have done in those prevailing circumstances. I think all other experts would also appreciate the fact that the committee has considered all possible aspects of the case.
Any minimum number of people, sir, you keep in your committee, or any minimum?
There are 4 people usually: the medical superintendent, the forensic medicine expert, and then depending upon whether it is a surgeon, gynecologist. If there is surgery involved, obviously the surgical branch surgeon would be there, the anesthetist would be there.
Ashok,
Okay. Yeah.
I will just add here. I think some of the model things have come from Madhya Pradesh High Court judgment, and that I would reiterate again, that they have mentioned, given the complete guideline, saying that the committee should consist of 3 people. So it is an odd number. Concerned not below the rank of associate professor. So that is second thing they have mentioned. Third thing, the accused party has to be called, and their opinion has to be given within a period of 8 weeks, so 2 months. So these things are clarified over there, and that is getting followed from February 2017 onwards in the state of Madhya Pradesh. So this is one model. In Pune, what we are seeing is that if the police department asks for the expert opinion, the things go to the dean of BJ Medical College. He appoints the committee within 4 days, and usually their opinion comes in 8 days unless they want some more information. However, for reasons not known to us, some cases are now going to civil hospital in Aun, and over there we are not seeing any report before 2 months. So why this difference? Why some cases go here and why some cases, when there is a government medical college, why they are going to civil hospital? We are not sure why it is occurring so. So civil hospitals, we are not getting the expert opinion before 2 months. So it's quite variable all across the state.
Sir, who decides that it will go to government hospital or to civil hospital?
Nobody knows, sir. Nobody. We don't know.
Dr. Mohite, sir, can you?
It is district-wise committees that are formed.
Okay.
See, the jurisdiction of who is investigating that case. So if that police is in that jurisdiction, then he will be sending it to the medical college if the medical college is there. If it is not there, they send it to the civil surgeon if there is no medical college in their jurisdiction. So it will all depend on that. And it is not a jury which sits over there, that it is an opinion of a committee. And therefore, invariably, you never get 2:1 or 2:2 as far as the opinions are concerned. It is one single opinion. And another thing you have to understand is, when the police sends you those for the papers for the opinion, there is a questionnaire that they send you, 4 or 5 questions, and you're supposed to answer those 4 or 5 questions. And that is where the problem lies, because, some of these questions, as I said, in medicine, 1 + 1 is never 2 many a times. So you cannot answer that properly. And third thing, again, I am reiterating, as an association, we have to insist that, as the judgment has said, that there has to be gross negligence, and the word has to be used. Once we insist that the committee should or should not use the word gross negligence, then I think things are going to improve as far as, because you cannot just go and arrest any doctor just because there has been a death of a patient, or there has been, some mishap which has happened, which is not in the control of the that particular doctor. So it has to be a gross negligence, which is laid down in law. It is laid down what you mean by gross, and only if it is gross negligence, only then he can be arrested or he can be jailed.
Any committee is always in the odd number, right? Single bench judge, triple bench, or a full bench of 5, that is always there. A committee is always an odd number. It's a general term. But then you can always add somebody who will give an extra leverage onto the committee. That is always there. Like Showkumar says, you know the case of Justice Lagothi's landmark judgment, the endotracheal tube, profit tube, whether it is the right size or wrong size. You have a committee of only 3 people. One people gave a different opinion, the other 2 gave a different opinion. Generally, a committee is always 3 in number or 5 in number. It is not a rule. Showkumar sir says correctly, it's not a rule that it has to be in the odd number, but we always prefer to be in the odd number. That is my opinion, what I have observed. I think advocate only will be able to say correctly what is the full bench and what is all these things.
Sir, about the rejection of the expert committee's opinion, there is a dictum. There is a definite Supreme Court guidelines. I think Advocate Erende can throw more light on this. That if the expert opinion is rejected by the courts, they mention the reasons in writing. There are at least 2 judgments to my knowledge from Pune Consumer Forum, where the judge has just mentioned, I do not agree with the expert opinion. That's all. No reasons given. Absolutely illegal judgment, if you ask me. But then to take up the matter again, to fight it again, becomes a problem. Judges can definitely reject it, but they have to mention the reason. So I think that is an important point. And if you am wrong, please correct me.
No, you are right, Naurangi sir. The judge is always expected to give the reasoned orders, not MCQ type orders that yes or no. He has to give the reasons, whatever may be the order, but the order has to be reasoned. And if it is not a reasoned order, then it becomes very easy, or it is a good order which can be challenged. However, again, to challenge a particular order in upper forum is always, it involves a lot of money, time, and it costs a lot of mental peace. So it is always good to request the learned judges to pass a reasoned order. If there is no reasoned order, then an option of filing review application also can be exercised, because it is filed before the same judge.
I think Ashok sir will remember which came with 3 forms, where the West Bengal Medical Council's opinion as well as an expert opinion was rejected by the court. It was Dr. Kantikar, judge sitting over there in the commission, and he went through every single aspect of the case, and I think rejecting 2 expert opinions, one from the medical council and one from a committee that was formed. I think that required a lot of guts to deliver a judgment, and you should have a lot of scientific evidence to prove whatever you say is perfect.
My question to all the panelists, about the question of number of experts in the committee. At least I have not come across any report of any committee or heard where there were 4 members and 2 were in favor and 2 were against. Then the question would rise in my mind as to there is always one chairman to the committee. So is the report written, 2 different reports written by 2, or do they sign that 2 of them saying under protest I am signing? Is it something of that sort that happens? I have not come across any opinion of any committee where members have differed.
Yeah.
Even before I sat down in this meeting, I went through the judgment. All the 3 experts have signed and submitted in that case. National Capital Territory, Suresh Gupta case. You can go through the judgment, sir.
No,
they have signed it.
No. My question is,
but generally,
what? Even if one member disagrees to certain facts, how does he mention that in the report? Does he say, I do not agree with the other experts of the committee on these points, therefore I beg to differ on this point? Does it happen that way, sir?
No. It doesn't happen that way. because it's an medicine is an imperfect science. We can always hide ourselves within certain terminologies, and that is how that judgment. See, before I came to this session, I was reading the judgment. That's why I came to the conclusion that I have told you. No, they don't say the word like what you said. I defer. I am signing with objection. They don't say that way. They always put something different and then submit the report.
Because my question would be, out of those 3 members, 5 members, I don't think all would be called to give evidence in court. I think it will be the chairman of the committee who would be called to give statement in the court, or if it pertains to a particular subject, say anesthesia, then only that particular, because if such type of opinion is given by the expert committee where even one of the members, even if it is an odd committee, and gives an opinion that he is not, the police at that level only would form a second committee. That is what I feel. I would like to know from Utture sir and Advocate Erande sir.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is absolutely right. I have seen some of the committee reports where the second and even a third opinion has been taken of a third committee also. Though the reason for taking this opinion was not stated, but the same police have taken opinions of 3 committees which were formed by the same dean of the same medical college. So we are not aware if there has been between the members there was some discrepancy and therefore that next committee was formed or what. I am not aware as far as that case is concerned, but I have seen at least 3-4 cases where a second committee has been formed to give an opinion.
Sir, this is a common fact which happens in criminal cases which come to us for opinion. Say one agency will send the case to us, whereby I give my opinion, then they would pick it up from me and they will go to another medical college. Then they will take it, might go to another state, and then they will put up that opinion which is in their favor. And the other 2 people will not even come to know that their opinion was ever sick. Neither them or the court will come to know whose opinions were taken. So many a time now we have also learned from police different tricks. That is, some of my friends ask for the original papers to read and put a stamp of the department saying that I have opined in this case. So next time he has to take a photocopy and take to another expert. The expert knows he has already taken an opinion, or the court would know and they would ask them the reason why they have not used that opinion.
That was very good. So I think so already it's 1 hour 25 minutes of discussion already done. So I think so now we'll take some questions, and there are some medical legal panelists also have joined. We'll ask there also. Dr. Sugandhi Iyer, madam, you can unmute yourself and give your. Then we will Dr. Abhay Shapurkar sir, my co-chairperson, will take questions from the chat box which are connected to the today's topic. And I think so it will we can end in next 20 minutes. So Dr. Sugandhi, madam.
Yes, 1 minute. Yes. Very good evening. It was wonderful to listen to all my seniors, my wonderful discussion. I must thank Dr. Shukla for this wonderful session. I congratulate, of course, Dr. Shailesh Mohite also for his becoming the Dean of R.N. Cooper. And I have a couple of things. Now, basically, as we have been listening, that the expert would give a scientific data in order to assist the court to come to a favorable judgment. And what they would say is that whether the line of practice of the particular doctor in the particular case would be as per the standard of care, or at least as per one of the schools of thought of established professional practice, and any shortcoming would be deficient. What we expect from an expert is that the opinion should be in an unbiased form. The inverted comma of unbiased is very, very important for having spent reasonable years in this field and going to courts. What I have at least found in at least 2 or 3 cases, and it could be much more than, and the whole, that is just a tip of iceberg. at least in a couple of cases leading to the arrest of a doctor, it was a biased opinion because we in Bombay, I'm located in Bombay, and the area is so small, all the expert opinion goes to JJ. The doctors, they know who are the private practitioners. So there was some kunnas, so that one doctor was arrested because the person said, yes, the person, it has gone to that expert. We come to know from the police very easily who is going to pass the expert opinion. It is very easy to know. The policeman tells us. So it's gone to that one. He's my Shatru. And that person was arrested. It was not even required. And the person was in tears. And another one who had a private practitioner, of course, not from the institution where I belong, outside, but in Mumbai, he was a leading industry in his own field. And definitely there was some sort of a thing, oh, he's doing so well, so I have to put him down. And it was an expert opinion against him. And that person, of course, went to state commission, went to national commission, but that expert opinion was always taken into consideration. So it was very, very difficult for him to come. Ultimately, of course, he decided, let me pay that compensation and call it a thing rather than going to Supreme, though he wanted to go. There was no sense. I mean, again and again, the name comes in the, like a grinding mill. So my first point I would like to say is that I really wonder in a short area like Bombay or even otherwise, when the names come, iske bare mein bolne ka hai. So whether some sort of past history or contact or the name or whatever it is, some sort of bias sometimes is there. And as Uttare sir clearly said about the arrest part, when it came to arrest, it is really a miserable situation, because then it emerges another criminal case in the criminal court, and also there'll be a consumer case, etc., etc. So ultimately the doctor lands with 3 or 4 cases because of one this thing. The second thing which Uttare sir clearly said, as in one prominent case, they have not taken the consideration of the circumstances of the doctor, whether it is a 5-star hospital, 7-star hospital, or is a nursing home with 20-25 beds, or it's a simple general practitioner, wherein in one case, one injection was given, Acnal, by the general practitioner, and naturally GP, how much can you expect infrastructure? But the expert opinion said, oh, this much CPR should have been given, and all this infrastructure should have been there. How can you expect a general practice? Why are we trying to, demotivate or stop good MBBS general practitioners? I don't understand by saying this should be required, that should be required, or the practice should be. And of course, the patient, the person, of course, had to have a paper arrest and stop the practice. And of course, after 6 months, we had to really cajole her. She started. So that becomes another important point, which I think expert panel should take into consideration, and there should be guidelines, whether it is a 5-star hospital with lot of infrastructure or a simple nursing home, and or a GP. For here we have hardly any healthcare for a nation like India, and if we are going to demotivate people, it's going to be very discriminatory. And the third thing is that, of course, for the right reasons, a judgment is a judgment, an opinion is an opinion, and the opinion should not be definitely binding on the judgment, which take a lot of other factors like facts of law, and who is giving the expert opinion, and so many other precedents while coming to a judgment. Therefore, opinion is, can be rejected depending upon the circumstances of the case. However, there are many cases where the doctors tend, or even the complainants tend to lose on the simple thing. The judge says ki expert opinion is not there, so therefore you have no case. At least in a couple of cases of doctors and couple of cases of complainants, we have seen that. So that is another thing. And if the expert opinion is sometimes very close to you, and even if that person is 40 years, one case, the consumer court said, no, it is biased because it is from the same institution, though it was your senior. So these are the observations I would like to say. And I really thank Dr. Ashok Shukla and everybody present here.
I think so. There are not much questions. I have gone through the chat box. Dr. Shivakumar Kumbar sir from Dharwad, you want to give some comment before we close, because there are not much questions. Most of the questions will be answered by the panel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful opportunity to listen to everybody, especially this is a gray area, because however expert we are, especially cross-examination, expert opinion, expert committee, It differs from state to state also, from district to district also. So just I want to ask Uttara sir, if the expert opinion or some clarification to the respective medical council, okay, even for a minor things, they hold it for years together. So we need to send a reminder from the consumer courts stating that the expert opinion has not yet come. So how long do they really take it? Okay, medical council. One thing. Other one is, can the patient himself tell the judiciary stating that please do not send to this hospital for the expert opinion, because it has happened in one of the hospitals in my place. Somehow complainant came to know that it has sent to the particular hospital for the opinion. He gave in writing stating that we do not trust on this expert opinion, please refer it to some other. And accordingly, the district surgeon referred it to something else, stating that if I give expert opinion, probably I'll be held responsible. So he referred to give a constituted committee and referred it back to the judiciary. So these are such situations. Will you please highlight anybody?
Now, I think I can answer the first part of your question.
Yes, sir.
Whenever things are referred to the council, it is not as far as the treatment is concerned, invariably the council, whenever such things are referred, there are questions like, is this person qualified in treating this type of a condition? And is this person registered with the medical council, and has he got this additional qualification in that particular subjects? And that is why I always harp upon that if you have got additional qualification, please
You must
register
register
with the state council. So these are the type of questions which are asked. As I cannot talk about the other councils, but as far as Maharashtra Medical Council is concerned, I think within days we send our opinion whenever such administrative questions have been asked to us. We have never been asked as far as treatment part is concerned. I think that invariably goes to the medical colleges or to the CS, the civil surgeons.
Okay,
that is
sir.
where it goes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The second part, Dr. Shailesh Mohite, sir. Unmute yourself, sir. You are muted.
I will answer the other part. That is, if a particular request comes that not to send to a particular college or to a particular doctor,
Yeah.
first and foremost, the chairperson of the committee or the dean should ask how they have learned that it has come to their college is one question.
Okay.
Second, yes, I am willing as a dean to change the member provided you give me substantial proof why you do not want. Is there a personal animosity or a grudge, and therefore the opinion could become biased? Because at the outset only, I would not like to have such thing which the committee might give an honest opinion, but because of individual differences, there could be a doubt raised on the whole committee.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I think so we will end. No more questions. So I would request Dr. Pankaj Bhandarkar, sir, Secretary, IMA Maharashtra State, for the closing.
So I think before we end, let me wish everyone who is there over here and who is also offline
Happy Doctors
Happy
Day
Doctors
for
Day.
tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
I would
Thank
like to thank all my panelists, Dr. Shivkumar Uttare, sir, Dr. Shailesh Mohite, sir, from directly, he reached and he directly logged in. So I don't know whether he was able to have anything to eat in between or not.
No.
Because,
I will join now for dinner.
But Ashok, that is always always the duty of the convener of this.
So it is the duty of
Online
IMA.
part of.
once we start physical meeting, maybe that time because platform digital. But,
I think by July or August, we may have to have a physical meeting at least once, at least to know each other. How often you meet and how often you enjoy.
I thank Dr. Ashok Shukla for inviting me, and it was really a feast of knowledge and opportunity to interact with all of you.
Yeah, indeed.
So thank you. In fact, our webinars go for 1.5 quarter 2 hours, like this only 9 to 10:30, sometimes 10:45, 11. And it has been going on for the last 2 years, and we just discuss practical and the advantages. We have good seniors, Dr. Uttare sir guiding, Dr. T. Ravi Shankar sir, Dr. Navarange sir, always there. Now Advocate Rohit sir has also joined, who's very frequently, even if we invite and request, even on a short notice, They are always there to guide us. And Dr. Shailesh Moiti sir, so I have always, whenever I have requested, he has never refused till now. And this is the third time I think so he is talking on our webinar platform. Before also he has spoken on other issues, and basically people who are doing that practically, they are the best people to guide us, because they know the variety and variations what they have gone through. Because as Dr. Utre sir told, medicine is not like 1 + 1 = 2. There are a lot of variations, lot of changes which our members should understand. The whole concept is, a lot of time what happens when these cases, judgments come in the paper, the doctors start feeling that we were wrongly punished, what association is doing, why judge has given, and they start criticizing the judiciary, they start criticizing the judge. They have to understand that there are facts which they would have been seen. It will take some time for to understand, and that is the reason we discuss here the different facts. So thank you. Over to Dr. Bhandarkar sir. Sir is there, or I'll give the thanking you final. Dr. Bhandarkar, Pankaj Bhandarkar sir. I've seen him in the panel list. Okay, he might have just left. So thank you for IMA Maharashtra State, Dr. Ramakrishna Londe sir, IMA Maharashtra State President, Dr. Pankaj Bhandarkar sir, IMA Maharashtra State Honorary Secretary, all IMA state leaders and national leaders who have joined, Dr. Sugandhi Madam, Dr. Alka Kute, the list is endless. All my panelists, my co-chairperson, Dr. Abhay Shahpurkar sir, and IMA Meera Bhainder, who is also the co-host for all the webinar series, Dr. Rakhi Agrawal, the President, Dr. Neeraj Jindal, Secretary IMA Meera Bhainder, and DG Shield for giving this technical platform, because they were there sending the direct panel links, so that the mute and unmute is a biggest problem in the webinars. A lot of time people get unmuted and we get disturbed and the link. So managing the digital platform is again a very important thing. So thank you, DG Shield. So thank you, everybody. Happy Doctors Day. Thank you. Jai IMA. Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Piyush, you can end the webinar. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.